This is going to be a good live today. It's going to be a good subject. The subject is going to be improvisation in the languages of Brazilian music and Gypsy Jazz music. Okay? Does anybody know the difference between the languages of improvisation between Brazilian music and Gypsy Jazz? Can anybody give a guess or take a guess about the differences between these two languages? All right, I'm just waiting for some more people to join us. We got only 3 listeners right now. Please, guys, say hi to me. I've heard Peter said hi to us, or to me. Just somebody else joined in. Again, the subject of today is the Brazilian language of improvisation versus the Gypsy language of improvisation. So maybe I'm gonna, as I'm waiting for you guys to join in, harmonic language. Obrigado. The harmonic language is the same, but the melodic language is rather opposite, rather different. Let's talk about this. The harmonic language is the same. So I'm going to take up 2 progressions here. I'm going to do improvisation over a Brazilian tune first, and then later I'm going to talk about a Gypsy Jazz tune. The Brazilian tune I'm going to use is Brigas Nunca Mais. Brazilian into words. Brazilian versus Gypsy Jazz, that in Brazilian you use more legados, you use more slides, you use more chromatic approach, and you can also use motifs created by rhythmic repetition. For example, this harmony here, let's just talk about the harmony first. This harmony uses C major, B Phrygian dominant, B flat major, A Phrygian dominant. Okay, so in a Brazilian setting, you have a lot of this going on. For example, see, a lot of this. Or that. I have a lot of chromatic approaches between notes, not so much arpeggios, but chromatic approach. So just over C major, so that it doesn't get complicated, let's just look over C major. On C major, you can do this, for example, between the 5th and the 6th. There. This is a chromatic between 5, 6, 5, 2, 3. So, and notice the legato and pull off. See, every note there, between every picking, every actual note picked, you have another legato. So, that's a very Brazilian approach to go. That's how you treat it in a Brazilian setting. So just this lick here is a great example to explain the Brazilian approach, which is a lot like sort of bebop. It's very similar to bebop in the chromatic approach, in the chromatic closure to the target tones. And on the technique is also, you have sort of this Pat Metheny-ish sort of approach, as opposed to the Gypsy Jazz, in which most notes are picked. You don't have much legatos or pull-offs or hammer-ons or slides, and you have a lot more arpeggios rather than the chromatic approach. So in a Gypsy Jazz setting, over C major, I would go. There's more projection, more aggressiveness on the approach, and I use the thumb emulating a Gypsy pick, so it's a whole different deal. Here, again, a Brazilian approach. 1, just over C major. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. You guys are following me here, right? You can see me, right? Somebody says, Ramses says, I can't see you, but should be able to see me. I am here, loud and clear. All right, so again, to make it easy, instead of just playing over the whole tune, I'm just going to use one chord at a time to explain these differences. So the Brazilian approach is closer to bebop than the Gypsy Jazz. The Brazilian approach has, again, more of the chromatic approaches. So here's a great way to do this. Between the tonic and the third, if you go... By doing that, I'm actually placing on the downbeats, on the strong beats, the tonic, 9, third, 9, and 1. And notice that the chromatic notes all fell on the upbeat, on the weak part of the beat. So this is a great phrase. And then here, approaching the fifth, I'm going to go. So, see, I'm approaching it, but I'm not going to do this, because if I do that, I'm going to get here too early. So I have to make time and squeeze another note in order to arrive here at the strong part of the beat. So here's a great way. We're going to build a phrase, okay? There we go. All right. Keep going. Tonic, third, tonic, 5, 3, tonic again. Here's the approach. And then after this approach, I'm going to do that same thing I taught you in the beginning, which is... And then, so, that's a great phrase to emulate the Brazilian language. So again, a música de, ei, estou assistindo para aprender guitarra cigana com você. All right, so here it is again. The Brazilian approach, like I said, is very similar to bebop, the Brazilian jazz approach. Again, the same phrase we're going to build together. Notice that I'm going to say the interval of the note every time I tap my foot on the floor, which is the strong part of the beat. 1, 3, 1, 5, 3, 1, 1, 6, 5. So see, 6 is not a chord tone, although it's a very welcome tone. It would not be considered, well, it is a neighboring tone for the 5th, but it almost is, it's so welcome that it's almost like a chord tone. You can actually enforce the 6th, but notice that immediately afterwards, I went to the 5th. So I treated the 6th as a neighbor. 6, 5. And here's the... and then let's put a rhythmic motif here to exemplify that which I said. The Brazilian approach uses a lot of rhythmic motifs. So I could do that's a 5, right? 5 conical Back to the conical subject. So that would be something that I would see some great Brazilian players doing. So here we go again. I approached it again, but with legato. So that would be a way that we could, I could give an example of how the Brazilian language is. I could maybe create another one. Let's create another line that you guys can build with me. Are you being able to follow me, or am I going too fast? All right. So here it is. Again. Remember this I told you? That little chord tone followed by a leading tone back to the chord tone by a slide. Very Brazilian. We could do a sequence of this. That could be a Brazilian phrase. Okay, that's a great example. Now a little faster. And these things, once you create these phrases, it should be good for you to repeat them. You actually take your time to think and think out how you're going to build the phrases and put the strong part of the beat on the target notes. And once you build it, then you repeat and you accelerate the tempo so that you make that part of your vocabulary. So it's a great way to build your vocabulary, is build the phrases slowly using these rules of target notes on the strong part of the beat. And then once you do that, you begin building up the speed. So like this. Okay, now a little faster. A little faster. And let me continue that phrase. So I have it. Yeah. So yeah. What is this? It's an encapsulation of a tonic. I get the leading tone, the upper neighbor, 2, and down to 1. And then I did. What did I do after? How about? Here's a pentatonic little phrase. 5, 3, 6, 5. All right. So the whole phrase now. How was that? Yeah, that's a great phrase actually. I like it. I'm gonna transcribe my own stuff. All right. This video is gonna stay up on the channel. So if you like any of these phrases, you're welcome to go back to the video and pause and take up note by note. And I would like to make an observation. Sometimes I get comments like, "Oh, you go too fast." But if the video stays up, then it's better that I go fast so that I can squeeze more information in less time. And you're welcome to go back later and pause the video. And there's nothing better, nothing to keep you from learning any phrase if you can use the pause button. I've learned very difficult phrases from other musicians without even having a video. Simply the audio and the pause button. You pause on every other note, and then you pick them out, and then you rewind, go again, pause on the next notes, and that way you can transcribe whatever, at whatever speed from whatever instrument. This is how I learned music, from transcribing. 90% of what I learned, well, not 90, maybe a little less, but a lot of what I learned was from transcribing. So even if you feel I'm going too fast, you can come back to the video and use the pause button, okay? So here we go again. At the end of the phrase, I targeted the third from the 5. And again, the Brazilian approach, a lot of legatos. See, I'm picking, and doing legato, picking, and doing legato to the third. And then to finish, I'm doing what I call a 3-point encapsulation. It's using 3 notes, 3 stacked thirds, targeting a note. So here I end up on the tonic. I go 5, 7, 2, 1. That's a great little phrase, great little cell or molecule. I call sometimes molecule is when you have a small group of notes that makes up like a musical word. So that's a great way to practice, is just building these phrases. Now I'm going to change the vocabulary, change the approach, and go on to a Gypsy Jazz type of approach, okay? On the Gypsy Jazz, I personally like to, since I'm not using a pick and they all use a pick, when I use that language, I tend to use my thumb. And then I pick downwards mostly. Of course, I alternate as well, but you always use the downwards sweep as such. So, see? And a lot more pentatonics. You can take out the chromatic approach and go for arpeggios, pentatonics, using the thumb. So that's, it's going to change the whole sonority of the guitar, okay? Rather than having that that would be more Brazilian. For a Gypsy Jazz, I would go now, mixing the two of them. Yeah, this wasn't so gypsy, but this definitely. It's very easy to go into pentatonic scales when you're doing the pick slanting, the gypsy approach with the thumb, which is part of the hybrid technique approach. It's very convenient to go into the pentatonic scales. And why is that? Because the pentatonic scales on the guitar, they are set as 2 notes per string, and then they are easily laid on the guitar neck with 2 notes per string. And if you have 2 notes per string, it fits like a glove on the use of the thumb, because all you gotta do is down up per every 2 notes. So, right? So just as easy as it is to arpeggiate a chord downwards, and then you use the big sweeping. See how I'm doing all downstrokes? Here. So here's a little gypsy phrase that I like to do. So kind of harmonic majors. Harmonic majors, no. I didn't mean to do that. What I understand by harmonic major is when you have a major scale with a flat 6, but I haven't considered that here. So I'm not sure if that's what you meant. Music Academy. All right. So the first of the 4/16 notes are 1, 3, and 5. Yes, you can use that. There are going to be a few exceptions, but mostly that's the idea. The first of the 4/16 notes are pretty much always 1, 3, and 5. Yes, on the Brazilian approach. Now here I am doing taking a look at the Gypsy Jazz thing. And you may have the 7th, for example. Here's a Gypsy Jazz arpeggio that I took from Stockwell Rosenberg. On this case, he finishes on the 6th, because as explained before, on a major chord, the 6th is very welcome. It almost is like a chord tone. You don't have to treat it like a neighboring tone. You can treat it as both. So the 6 is your wild character note. You can use it for everything. You can use it as a neighboring to the 5, but you can also use it as a chord tone, like so. See? 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's do another Gypsy Jazz phrase here. How about this? Very pentatonic, like I said, using the thumb. Very pentatonic here. I'm just going 7/1 as a leading tone approach. It's a pickup note, and a downbeat goes on the tonic. Pentatonic. 1, 6, 5, 3. Right? That could be in a Gypsy Jazz setting. Here's a great phrase I like from the Gypsy Jazz vocabulary. Again. is just an arpeggio from 5 to 1. You got 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3. And I end up again on the 6th, very friendly note, very friendly interval. Okay, so again, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so again, let me try to explain these things. I'm going to try to improvise both ways in the harmony of Brigas Nunca Mais. I believe this is a Jobim tune. Got a question here from Max Josephson. Can I ask, what do you tune your 7th string to? I tune it to B, but in a few occasions to A or C, but as a practical use, I do it on B. Okay, so here's the harmony I'm going to run you guys through. C major 7, B Phrygian dominant, B flat major 7, A Phrygian dominant. And you go D minor, tritone substitution from A7, you got E flat Lydian dominant, back to D minor, these are 2, 5, 1. Now, instead of going to C major, you're going to go to another tonic function chord, 3rd degree, Phrygian. So you got Phrygian, 3rd degree flat diminished, and the melody goes first, and then 1st degree, C major, B, Phrygian dominant, B flat major 7, Lydian, A Phrygian dominant, 2nd degree D minor, tritone sub, E flat Lydian dominant, 2, 5, 1, D minor, G, 3rd degree, E Phrygian, flat diminished, 2nd degree, and then you got a 2, 5, 1 to the 6th degree. So the 6th degree is A minor, the 2, 5, 1 will be B half diminished. Just 2 beats, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you got the 2nd degree major here, another Lydian dominant. Okay, and then 2, 5, 1. Again, same progression. 1st degree, half step down, dominant. B flat major 7, A Phrygian dominant, then D. Just look up Brigas Nunca Mais, guys. Just go on Google and type in Brigas Nunca Mais. Emerson, please type in for me on the chat box if you're there. Brigas Nunca Mais, so that you guys can check the harmony for this tune in which I'm about to improvise using the two languages. Okay. So again, finishing off this 2nd time through. Tritone sub, 2, 5, 1. Now to finish it off, 2, 5, 1 to the 4th degree. You got G minor, C7, sharp 5, 4th degree, minor, and then 1, 6, 2, 5, 4 times. And it ends on C sharp major 7. Now I'm going to improvise over that. for the few mistakes, but I'm trying to show you the two different approaches here. And sometimes I accidentally mix them. Whenever I'm doing these chromatic runs with the thumb, I'm actually sort of mixing the Brazilian and the Gypsy, which is no problem, right? I'm not a machine. I'm a human being. So sometimes these things may get confused in my brain, but that's because I'm trying to mix them into the same class. So it becomes something a little difficult to do. But whenever I spend the whole night just playing the Brazilian repertoire, it's a lot easier to focus on one language. Or when I spend a whole gig just playing sort of more Gypsy Jazz approach, then it's also easier to maintain and focus on that language. I've never done a lesson like this where I'm trying to show the differences and alternate between one language and another. It's just like speaking two different languages to the same person, so you sort of mix the words a little bit. But is this making sense, guys? Is this making sense to you? I would like to maybe have some questions or participation from you guys. Remembering today's live is going to last for 50 minutes. I'm going to end this at my 6:50 here, which is only in 15 minutes. So I would like for you guys to take advantage of the moment to ask some questions. Very useful and easy to use 1, 3, and 5 extension on the beat. Well, 1, 3, and 5 are not extensions. 1, 3, and 5 are chord tones. The extensions are 2, 4, and 6. So it is very useful indeed to think that way, to use that approach, to be able to bring out the sound of the chord, sound of the harmony through your note choice. So, but in Brazilian, we have many syncopation. Yeah, in the Brazilian, there's more, sometimes a delayed resolution, sometimes an advanced resolution. You have more of that, and definitely more chromatics. This is a way that you could use the way that you could use the Brazilian approach. Try to put that with a root. Rhythmic motif, as I said, is used in Brazilian music. This is one here. I love that. When I see Lula Galvão is one of the guys, as well as Hélio Delmiro, are some of the guys that do this. Emerson, eu ia falar, mas ainda um pouco cedo. Eu não quero falar por 15 minutos do curso. This is a rhythmic motif. All right. So in this rhythmic approach here, I'm using let's do it over the 165. I will do it. 1, 6, 2, 5. There's two different techniques to do this. You can use the lower note on the thumb and do rest strokes like classical guitar player. Or you can use the rest stroke. Yes? So there's two different ways you can do that technique, which is a rhythmic motif. Very nice to use rhythmic motifs in the improvisation because it sounds humanized, you know what I mean? It sounds like there's creativity and there's something being said there. That's why I said humanized, if I can even use that word. Another rhythmic motif I like to do is, or I could do the whole thing here with that rhythmic motif. All these 4 first chords: C major 7, B Phrygian dominant, E flat major 7, A Phrygian dominant, it would be. No. That's a great way to use a rhythmic motif. Hey, brother. All right, Sujit Raj. Welcome, brother. Guys, we have 10 more minutes. So I would like to take any questions about this. Again, the tune that we're improvising over is Brigas Nunca Mais by Antônio Carlos Jobim. It's a great, beautiful tune, great Brazilian standard. And I would like to tell you guys this very important announcement to make. Last week, I introduced on the 16th of April a world music masterclass, which is available on my channel, where I teach flamenco, I teach about Indian and Oriental music concepts, as well as some of Brazilian music, and a little bit on Gypsy Jazz. And this is part of this world music guitar course that I've recently created after so many people asked me to teach this stuff. I used to teach in the beginning of the year a Brazilian guitar course, and people kept asking me, why don't you teach your flamenco stuff? Why don't you teach the stuff that you compose with that is not just Brazilian? So then, because of those requests, I decided to make up this world music guitar course. And I opened the registration last week, and the registration lasts for 1 week. Today is the final day, guys. So I'm closing in a group of students. I think we had about 16 or 17 students enroll, which gives us, from the beginning of when I started teaching courses, it's been about 110 students that have gone through my courses. So I'm very excited to announce that it's been a successful, Oscar Malice, what's up? So it's been a successful initiative. And today is the last day that anybody who might be interested can register for the World Music Guitar course. This course has 20 hours of recorded material, plus 12 lives that are spread throughout 3 months, in which I'm going to take the students with me in this journey to learn all the major world music traditions on the guitar. So the link is right above. I'm going to post it right now here on the chat. Emerson, por favor, dá uma postadinha no link. And there's only 9 more minutes left on this live. I can take a few more questions on improvisation. But guys, if any of you guys would like to jump on this with me, again, my private lessons cost $50 an hour, but this course costs just less than $150. It goes for $149. So for the price of less than three lessons with me, you can get 20 hours of recorded lessons plus 12 lives. That is 32 hours of instruction for the price of less than 3 private lessons. So it is an absurdly great deal, absurd opportunity that you cannot miss. All right, guys? Any questions about the course or about this lesson? This is the time to ask, okay? I'll be here for 10 more minutes. So, as I was talking about here, the tune Brigas Nunca Mais, playing the melody again for you guys, and then doing one more round of improvisation as you guys come up with some questions. 1, 2, 3. this. Any questions, guys? Arpeggio skills, other approaches. Okay, where are the key things you direct students to master in order to improve the Brazilian style? All right, the key things that I tell students to master, well, the key thing to learn a specific language is listening. There's no way you can learn a Brazilian language or Gypsy jazz or classical or tango or whatever without listening to it. There's no one can explain you or no book can show you, because it is a sound medium. It has to be heard in order to be reproduced. But the key thing for any improvisation, I would say, both for Gypsy and for Brazilian style, is you must know where your chord target tones are. That's the must. There's no way you can even start talking about this without knowing where the target tones are. So here, for C major 7, you gotta know this. 1, 3, 5, 7, 1, 3, 4. And then for B, Phrygian dominant, same thing. And then for B flat major 7, you gotta know these arpeggios, right? And that starts on the caged system. All this stuff is explained step by step in the World Music Guitar course. But I'm telling you right now, I'm giving you free. You use the caged system to distribute the neck, to break the neck into sections. The neck is made of 5 sections. Like a C major, you got C major 7, first section, second section, third section, fourth section, and fifth section. All right? So you gotta do your homework. There's no magic pill here. The first thing you need to do before you even listen to the other music, you do the caged system and make sure you master the target tones. After you do that, then the way you approach them is when the language takes part. Then you have to listen and see, transcribe, listen and transcribe. Oscar, thank you for your comment. Pedro Sobral, hey, could you explain the chord B Phrygian dominant? Absolutely. The Phrygian dominant chord is the 5th mode from the harmonic minor harmonized scale. So from the harmonic minor harmonized scale, say you do it in A minor. You have the first mode, it's harmonic minor, second mode, half diminished, third mode, C major augmented, fourth mode is the Lydian minor here. And then the 5th mode, finally, you get to the Phrygian dominant. The Phrygian dominant scale is nothing but a Mixolydian scale with a flat 9 and a flat 6. So it goes like this. 1, flat 2, major 3rd, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, flat 6, and 7. So you got this kind of sound. That is the Phrygian dominant scale. It's pretty much the flamenco scale. But in flamenco also they use a lot of the melodic minor modes. So, but it's mostly known as like a flamenco scale, you know. So that's the Phrygian dominant. Is that explanation clear? Again, Pedro, you are welcome to go back to the video and pause or rewind or watch it in a slower mode, because this video stays up. On my YouTube channel, I have a section on the Friday lives. This is the 18th or 19th Friday live that I'm doing. You can also check the previous ones. So in case the explanation goes too fast, you're welcome to go back. All right? Yeah. So talking about my channel, I would like to kindly invite you guys, if you like this lesson and you would like to say thank you, you're welcome to subscribe to the channel. It is a platform that I've been kindly developing to offer music and lessons freely for the world. So I have been very glad that the channel has been growing very quickly. So I invite you guys to support my work by subscribing. Emerson Floripa, which styles do you teach on the World Music Guitar course? On the World Music Guitar course, guys, I'm teaching Brazilian music, pretty much all the main rhythms of Brazilian music. I'm teaching flamenco music, and the palos are tangos, bulerias, and rumbas. And I'm teaching Indian music and Oriental music aspects or concepts. I'm also teaching percussion on guitar. I'm teaching percussive guitar approaches, which are African grooves essentially that have been imported to Brazilian music. And I am teaching also today's class is on the Brazilian music course, but of course there you have it with more depth. In the world music guitar course, you have a section on Brazilian improvisation and a section on Gypsy Jazz improvisation, so you can differ these two languages and see what you like best. And the idea of the way that I teach is for you to use these tools on your own music. I'm not giving you a course on one specific style, but I'm passing over all the major music traditions so that you can understand their tools and use it on your own. So keep being real awesome. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you so much. So yeah, guys, this is it. Again, today is the last day to register for the World Music Guitar course, all right? It is your opportunity to get 32 hours instructions for the price of 3 private lessons. So the price of 3 hours, you get 32 hours. How awesome is that? But the registration closes today. So if you don't run, then tomorrow it's going to be over. I might be offering this about 3 or 4 months from now. Downbeat is easy, but not upbeat. Yeah, it seems difficult to use the thumb when you don't have your nail grow out for thumb. Yeah, this is something that I do. I use acrylic on my fingernails here to get a more punch, a stronger kick on the strings. So I have an acrylic nail there on all these 4 nails right here. So yeah, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this lesson. We're coming to an end right now. I appreciate your presence here. Again, please feel welcome to subscribe to the channel, and don't miss the opportunity, guys. This is the only time on the 18 lives that I've done with lessons. This is the only time that I've actually offered a course, and I've made the World Music Guitar course because so many people asked about flamenco and other stuff. All right, Peter. Thank you, Bob, for being here. Thank you, Emerson. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, Oscar. I'll take one last question before I need to say goodbye. Is there anybody else who would like to ask a question? All right, guys, it has come time. I must go now. I'll be here every Friday with you, all right? And see you next time, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget, enroll for the World Music Guitar course. Where are you coming to play to Atlanta? When? Well, with the COVID situation, I don't have any plans to travel to the US anytime soon, but hopefully sometime soon. I believe our friend Bob here, whose name is iMusic Academy, he was helping me just before the COVID started to actually book a concert with the student orchestra from the University of Alabama. I have released two entire bodies of work, compositions for guitar and orchestra, which you can also see in the YouTube section, orchestra. And I was going to perform that at the University of Alabama. So if that actually happens, maybe in 2022, then I'll definitely go play a concert in Atlanta. All right, guys, it's been real. It's been fun. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you next Friday, if not in the World Music Guitar course, of which the registrations end today. I just left the link for you right there. Make sure to register, guys, because this is a beautiful opportunity, all right, to take up 32 hours of instructions for the price of 3 hours of private lessons. That is ridiculous. Okay? I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.